What is going on, guys? My name is Sena and welcome back to another video. So I've been seeing this question floating around in my comment section and also just in the Valorant community as a whole, so I thought that I'd make a video here talking a little bit about it to you guys. This one question is, how do you pick your main agent in Valorant? I'm going to be talking about all of the different agent roles and try to figure out which role fits your playstyle the best. Right before we jump into the video though, guys, I want to take a moment to thank Valorant Tracker for sponsoring this video. Valorant Tracker is the most popular all-in-one companion tool for tracking your stats and performance in Valorant. Valorant Tracker has a huge range of features and tools to help you improve. Do you want to check your own stats and see what areas you're lacking in? Valorant Tracker has you covered. You can view all of your KD ratios, headshot percentages, agent KDs and win rates, map win rates, and so much more. Is there another player in your game that's popping off? You can click the live match button in the Valorant Tracker overlay and get a detailed look at all of the players in your match. Do you want to learn lineups or just simple tips and tricks that you can do with a specific agent? Click on the Guides tab and access a massive library of lineups and tricks with every single agent in the game. Oh, did I also mention that Valorant Tracker is completely free to download and use? You don't need to pay a single penny to access the best tool for improving at Valorant. So what are you waiting for? Go down in the description or in the pinned comment and download Valorant Tracker today. Thank you again to Valorant Tracker for sponsoring this video, and with all of that being said, guys, let's get right back into the video. Trying to figure out which character you want to main is an issue in every game that has characters in it like Valorant does. I came from Rainbow Six Siege, so there are a lot more characters in that game than there are in Valorant, so I was always constantly changing which operator I wanted to main. I've also been playing a lot of Apex Legends recently, and that game also has a lot of characters in it, so I think that I've had a lot of experience with different games that have these different characters that each have their own role and abilities. The thing is that most character-based games like this have different categories or roles that multiple characters fit into. In Overwatch, you have DPS, healer, and tank. In Siege, you have hard breachers, wall stoppers, and characters that just get info. And Valorant is no exception to this type of categorization for different characters. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this, but in Valorant, there are 4 different categories of characters. You have Duelist, Sentinel, Controller, and Initiator. Each of these roles have their own playstyle, and each of the characters need to work together to fulfill their role to have a functioning and healthy team. I think when trying to figure out what agent you want to main, you should first try to figure out which category of agent you want to main. I'm going to be going through each category of agent, explaining what that category's role is and the best agents to pick within those categories. First up on the list, we have Duelists. Duelists, in my opinion, are the most common agent that people like to main. They're really fun to play, and their kits are really selfish, which explains why a lot of people like playing them. The main job of a Duelist is to entry out onto site and create space for the team. They are expected to perform well and also seek out early engagements to get an early kill for a team. As of me making this video, all of the Duelists in Valorant are Jett, Phoenix, Neon, Raze, Reyna, and Yoru. I think Jett is one of, if not the most common agent that you will see in your ranked games. But it's for good reason. Her dash is really strong paired with her smokes that allows you to take a lot of space, and you also have an updraft if you want to take verticality as well. Jett is just a really all-around good agent and is personally one of my mains. If you want to main a Duelist, you need to understand that your job is going to be to seek out those early engagements and get in the action quick. If you're not too confident in your aim or you're just starting out playing the game, I wouldn't recommend picking up Duelists immediately. In my personal opinion, I think all of the Duelists are good agents, and I think that they all fulfill the role of being a Duelist pretty well. I've been seeing a lot of stuff in the Valorant community of people saying that Reyna is a useless agent now, but I really don't think that she's that bad. Sure, she might need a kill to use any of her util, but it basically allows you to farm people, especially with her ult. I certainly think that there are better agents than Reyna, that's for sure. She's not meta, but I don't think that she's very bad, personally. If you want to main Duelist, I would recommend being very confident in your own skill, and you also need to be a little bit fearless too, because you are the one that's going to be making the early round plays for your team. Moving on down the list of different classes, let's talk a little bit about Sentinels. Now, Sentinels are in kind of an awkward position because of Chamber. Chamber is by far the best Sentinel in Valorant, and I think that Chamber is a must pick on almost every map in Valorant. The reason why Chamber is so good is because he kind of bends his role in a way. He's able to seek out early engagements because of his TP, and he's incredibly good for opping, which makes a Jet and Chamber combo really deadly. The role of a Sentinel is to lock down sites and keep control of an area. Sentinels should typically have a more passive playstyle. Even as Chamber, you don't want to be really pushing up too much because your team needs that trip. I think Sentinels are good agents for people that are new to Valorant or just starting out. Because of their more passive playstyle, they're able to kind of seek engagements on their own terms a little bit more. Sage is also a pretty good pick, I would say. I think Sage is underrated a lot recently. Although I wouldn't really recommend having a double Sentinel setup. I think that kind of just cucks your team, and I think Chamber should be the primary Sentinel that's used in your games. Killjoy and Cypher have kind of fallen out of the meta and don't really see much use nowadays, which really sucks. It's really annoying how Chamber came along and kind of ruined the whole role of Sentinels for all of the other agents. So yeah, if you want to play a Sentinel, I think Chamber is a great pick, and Chamber is also another character that I play a lot as well. I would also recommend, if you're a newer player, to try out some Sentinels because I think that they are really good to start learning the game on. Next up on the list, we have controllers. Now, the big thing about controllers is that they have smokes. Smokes are one of the most important parts of a Valorant game and really allows you to take the site. Controllers are incredibly important characters to have on your team, and I would recommend trying to learn at least one. The thing that I really like about the controller category is that every character is strong in their own way. Omen has an incredible blind, and his TPs pop super fast, and he's really come back into the meta a little bit. Brimstone's molly and ult are insane for post plant, and his smokes last a super long time. Viper is a must-have on maps like Breeze, and the fact that her molly vulnerables is insanely powerful. I don't see Astra being played as much, but she's still really strong and a good pick on pretty much every map besides Breeze. I think that if you're a new player, picking up controllers would also be a great idea for you. It really gives you a better understanding of how a site take works and basically how to control areas of the map with your utility. Controllers are also great roles to IGL on. If you want to IGL your team, if you're on a controller, it really helps a lot because you're kind of in control of how you want to take the site or take control of the map, like if you're running a default or something like that. I think everyone should learn this role, and a lot of people don't like playing this role, but I think it's good to get comfortable on it just in case. Again, would highly recommend this role for newer players and experienced players alike. Now for the fourth and final role, we have Initiators. As of right now, the Initiators in Valorant are Breach, KO, Skye, Sova, and Fade. Again, I think that all of these Initiators are great in their own way, and they all excel on different maps in different ways. The role of an Initiator is to throw out util to help clear certain angles on site for the duelists who are entering. This could be by using a Sova drone, a Fade haunt, a recon dart, something to gain info on where the enemies are playing. Initiators basically have informational util that can show you where people are playing without actually having to face clear them. I've talked about this in a bunch of my other videos about how important Initiators really are for clearing out and flushing out those enemies. I think that right now in Valorant, we really have a double Initiator meta. I think that pairing a Sova and a KO or a Fade in a KO or something like that is so strong in today's meta. Like I mentioned earlier, every character in this role is super good, and I do think that Initiators are really strong agents to have on your team. I see Initiators as kind of a second entry onto site. My optimal team comp would be 1 Duelist, 2 Initiators, 1 Sentinel, and 1 Controller. I think that if you want to main an Initiator, you should be ready to back up your Duelist and push into sight if you have to. A lot of people call this kind of a flex role because you're flexing in between being a aggressive and passive player simultaneously. Sometimes your team will need you to play back and play for your util to get them off the bomb, but other times you're gonna have to rush in to help your duelist if things go wrong. I think that if you have a playstyle where sometimes you like being aggressive, but other times you like to play a little bit more back, initiators are a great pick for you. And that covers all 4 classes of agents in Valorant. One thing that I do want to mention that I see a lot though is that a lot of people are too scared to die because they feel like their util is incredibly valuable. While it is true that your util is very valuable, you can never be too scared to take risks. Taking risks and getting out of your comfort zone is the best way to improve at Valorant, and you need to be able to do that. No matter what agent you play or what agent you main, you will always find yourself in a situation where you might need to take a risk, and you should take those. Now, to figure out what agent you want to main, I really want you to think about it and try to figure out what playstyle you really like. Do you find yourself being hyper aggressive and always wanting to push in and take a fight? Duelists might be a good pick for you, and your team will really benefit off of your hyper aggressive playstyle. Do you find yourself being a little bit more of a passive player and playing back to hold down a position from enemies that are pushing in? Sentinels would definitely be a good role for you because your team really needs someone that can hard anchor and hold down that site for the team. Maybe you find yourself in the middle. Do you sometimes like to be aggressive but other times prefer to be passive? Definitely give initiators a try because this flex role can really mold to your playstyle well if sometimes you're aggressive but other times you play passive. Do you see yourself as more of a leader and want to be more in control of how a round plays out? I think controllers are great for this type of playstyle, and you can really make a lot of big things happen with these characters that have these smoke abilities. And I think that's everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about picking an agent that you like to play. And remember that you don't have to main just one agent, and actually I would advise against this, and I think that you should play a few different agents in different classes and just basically experiment with them and see which one you really like to play the most. One of the hardest parts for me when I was starting out Valorant was trying to figure out which playstyle suited me the best. Hopefully this video helped you understand just a little bit better about how the different roles work and which one would be best for you. If you did enjoy this video or found it useful, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We're incredibly close to 90,000 subscribers. I think we're like 200 or 100 away, and I absolutely cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. You guys have been going crazy with the support on this channel recently, and I just cannot thank you guys enough for making this possible. Make sure you guys go down in the description and join my community Discord server. We have a really chill community over there, and we'd love to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.